Hi everyone. So today, this has been bopping around in my head for a couple weeks now. I want to talk to you about family, friends, and boundaries. So, the first thing I want to say is just because they're blood related to you doesn't mean they're family. Okay, so there's always these pushes from the outside world saying, oh, you've got to forgive family, you've got to love family no matter what, you've got to be there for family no matter what. Okay, let's stop that right now because it's ridiculous. Family are biologically related people to you. That does not mean that they have the rights because of their genetics to treat you badly, to use and abuse you. Okay, so let's just stop that right there. That's ridiculous. Family and friends, true family and friends, love you for who you are, respect your boundaries, and want you to have a productive life. So, what happens if you have family members that don't do those things? You have to evaluate whether whatever you're getting from that relationship is something that you want in your life, that is productive for you in your life. For me, my family is actually my friends. I do have family members, biological family members, but I'm not really close to any of them. So the people that invite me to their house for the weekend, the people that invite me to be part of their lives are my friends. So, like for instance, at Thanksgiving or Easter or holiday meals, the people around my table are not the only one biologically related to me is my dad. So, we have my husband and my friends. And those are the people that give to me, hopefully, as much as I give to them, because it should be an exchange. If you have someone in your life who uses the family card, but we're family, um, to get away with crap, then that's not okay. That's when you need to start setting boundaries. And let's talk about boundaries. Boundaries are important. I love the statement here, no is a complete sentence. One of the first things we do when we're empaths, when we're uh, trying to be caring and considerate of other people, we tend to make excuses. Oh, I can't do that because. Well, when we offer up a because, if we have manipulators in our lives, they will happily say, oh, well, that because is valid, but here's the workaround for it. And then you can do what I want you to do. That's how manipulators are. They manipulate. So making sure that you're being mindful, like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. What are they going to argue with? There's nothing to argue. So when you're in the beginning stages of developing boundaries, start thinking about what you will accept and what you won't accept. Is it okay for family members to call you at 3 o'clock in the morning to complain about how their day went? No, I'm not okay with that. I am very much guarded with my sleep. Now, I would let people call me at 3 o'clock in the morning with an emergency, but my phone is in a different room. I'm not going to hear it. The emergency will wait until tomorrow. Now, of course, people are in different family situations where that can't happen, but in my life, in the stage of my life, I can do that. I can let the phone be in another room and it's okay. So, are we having people take from us more than they give from us? If we are, then we need to train them on what our boundaries are because frequently people are not used to hearing our boundaries. So the first thing is saying no, not giving an excuse. If they continue to push our boundaries, what do? Well, there are great ways to do this. Talking to a friend who was like, so one of my family members argues with me all the time, and I just can't get out of that interaction, you know? Like it's a no-win situation for me. I can't explain to them, no matter how much information I give them, no matter how much research I show to prove to them, uh, they're not going to listen to me, and they're going to continue to think what they're going to think. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's a no-win situation. Why are you engaging in that? Well, what do you mean? You don't have to engage in that. You can simply say, hey, you and I are not going to agree on this discussion. So I think it's better that we change the topic. And I guarantee you they'll be like, well, you know, well, I think I'm right, and blah, 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 trying to get you back into it. They do that. And you can continue to just say, I'm not going to talk to you about this. You're not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change your mind. That's fine. That's a boundary, people. And if you continue to put that up, you might have to do it 2 or 3 times in this instance. But you know what? Eventually they get tired of hearing, I'm not going to fight with you. And they stop. And then you can move on and start building that relationship. When you're making boundaries, you actually have to lose that fear of, I'm going to upset that person. I'm going to make them mad because I'm putting down a boundary. Well, like, you know what? They have no problems making you mad for ignoring your boundaries, do they? So think about that. Are they just going ahead and ignoring your boundaries regardless of how you feel about it? The answer is probably yes. So putting down those boundaries and teaching them over and over again, like, hey, here is my boundary. I need you to respect it, or I'm going to disengage. And disengage means walking away. Well, it can be the first form that I just talked about, like verbally saying, I'm not doing this. And then if it continues, it means walking away, hanging up the phone, disconnecting. And you can do that in a loving way. Say, you know what, Uncle George, I love you, I care for you, but I don't think you're hearing me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk away, and let me know when you're ready to talk about something else. Okay? Or you can say, okay, Mom, Dad, Aunt Irma, I love you, but you continue to bring this issue up, and I'm not going to talk to you about this. So I'm going to hang up the phone now. But I want you to know I love you, and I hope you call me back when you are ready to talk about something else and move on. Now, you can check back with them in a couple days if you feel like that is something you want to do. But I guarantee you, the more you do this over and over again, the more you teach them, the more they're going to come back to that idea like, oh, that's a boundary, and I'm not getting what I want from this. Because oftentimes family members get into this mindset of like a power dynamic. So I'm going to exert my power over you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, if you disengage from that, then you are taking your power back. You are empowering yourself to not be part of that dynamic anymore, that unhealthiness. So please start putting down boundaries. Now, what happens if your family members, friends do not respect your boundaries, or worse, they're mean to you, they're hateful, they say rude things to you? I know it's like kind of commonplace with men to punk each other. Like, you're such an asshole. You're a jackass. You're a horrible guy. Like, you're a waste of space. Like, guys, why do y'all do that to each other? Y'all should be supporting each other. There's a whole topic about toxic masculinity that you can Google. But the point is, like, that's not okay. So you can say, hey man, that really hurts. That's not okay to say to me. And then walk away, disengage, leave that hanging in the air. And we can do that too. Mom comes in and says, wow, I see you cleaned up the place. Great job. In a very sarcastic way. Well, Mom, My life is busy. I'm happy with how my house looks. I hope you can look past that and enjoy that I'm happy with how I am. Okay. Putting up those boundaries with those little jabs that family tend to give you. You don't have to be part of it. You don't have to fly off in a handle or suck it up, buttercup. No, you don't have to do that. Don't rub dirt on it. None of that is okay, and it's very unhealthy. Don't do that. So, what we need you to do, speak it out. Wow, that's really hurtful. You can say that. And remember, they didn't care that they were saying something hurtful to you. They didn't care enough to protect your feelings from that. So you can speak out how that feels. And if they're true family and friends, they'll back up and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I was just poking fun, you know. I didn't mean I didn't want to hurt you." And if you get labeled as sensitive, you know what? Sensitive is the new brilliant, in my opinion. We should all be more sensitive, right? So, all of those things that we can do with family, that's important. What happens if you have a toxic family member who you do not want to be around? Well, you cut them out. If they are at an event and you know they're coming, you can just say, "Well, I'm choosing not to come. Thank you." I you can, with the family members that you trust, you can say, "I don't want to be around that person. I choose to not be around that person." Please don't make it a competition where, well, if you're inviting them, I'm not coming. No. Just if you hear that they're coming, just say, "Well, thank you. I have other plans." The other plans can be that you're going out and having fun instead of dealing with the toxic family member. So making sure you're cutting them out. And you can do that with any family member. Everybody's like, "Oh, but Christ and the gospel and the 10 commandments all say that we should honor our fathers and mothers." Yes, absolutely we should. However, I look at it as we should honor the core of who they are. The person who hasn't had life crap on them, the person who hasn't been changed and twisted into a mean, nasty, hateful person, okay? We should honor the true mother and true father that we all grew up hearing about, like the dad who loves you no matter what and will be there to protect you and provide for you. The mom who's nurturing and caring and considerate and is there to wipe your tears away. That's what I'm talking about when I think of honoring your father and mother. Who would that look like if your mother and father hadn't been so horribly affected by life, by a bad upbringing, by rough conditions? Who would that person be without all that garbage that life piles on? That's who you're going to honor. And in a situation where, say, you have a toxic mother, okay, what would a true mother want for you? What would someone who's loving, nurturing, and caring want for you? Would they want you to be dealing with a toxic person? No, they would not. So, to honor the true mother, that individual core of a person who's in there, that's what you need to do. And to do that, you can step away from the toxicity and live without it in your life. Because life can be really wonderful. It can be a happy place, y'all. So take some time, do some work. Good luck. It's hard, but you can do it. I have faith in you.